Hello!
Right.
It's us.
We did it.
Hello.
We made it. It took a long time to get here, but we figured it out. We did all the technical.
We had to
Thanks. We
rehome
needed-
some keywords.
Mm-hmm.
They got really into the wires, and Valid, it seems like a great place to settle,
like
but it's
this
our
little
place.
gremlin right here. Like this little
Ari.
gremlin.
Audible. I see Kaito says audio is
We have
present.
audio. Audio is audio.
Jose!
Hey.
We can play a game.
Did it.
Yeah.
Let's
We did it,
play
everybody.
a game. He said from the
Yum, 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 yum.
1980s sci-fi film. Hey, internet friends and webcomic fans. How you doing?
How you
How
doing?
How you doing?
Something like that. Oh no, actually, it's another episode of Trash Heroes, the D&D stream where we recount the epic adventures of a wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures known as the Trash Heroes.
Oh no.
That's the thing I say. Our players, as always, are this incredibly talented collection of internet artists, cartoonists, makers of various things, game designers, writers. All sorts of artistry occurs when these folks are around. Please do check out all of their links to various websites and social medias and other sorts of patronage
Over there.
in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And definitely you should support all these folks. There's also a Patreon for the channel itself in the linky box description thing below. And as always, you should pay your artists, support your local artists. They need feedings. Occasionally they need petting as well. But I'll leave that between you and them.
I'm a little high maintenance. It's well known. But it's well worth it, TBH. It's well worth it.
And without further ado, let's meet the characters. First up, we have Protector of the Trash Heap. Nope, I did it wrong. Yeah, no, I did it right.
Yeah.
Keeper of the Vermin. I'm going by memory because Alina did, but I actually have said it way more times. Or do we want to make Alina do it?
Oh god.
That was fantastic.
It was.
That
It was
that
very
the-
good.
I believe that's what we said was the new normal. All right, Alina, go.
Okay,
Introduce
it
the
is Keeper of Vermin, Defender of the Trash Heap, Fetid Quaggle.
That's me. Hi.
Pretty close.
It's your favorite battle master over here, Ugna.
I like how you beefed yours the hardest, like the one that's
Yeah.
about you.
Mhm. You know that
That was
Oh,
deliberate. I
one.
don't believe it.
And then we've got Feywild streaming sensation Morgan the Satyr.
Like, subscribe, and just give me all your money. Why not?
That's true. He's not here tonight, but Tromlin Darioles. I really don't remember anything about his
That's
intro.
definitely what it says on his. He's not here tonight, but no.
Mhm.
And then our sweet old grandpa who is accidentally a warlock.
Horus
Copernicus
high
Sunshine.
catchphrase.
Nailed it.
And these are the days of our lives.
What is Tromlin's plane?
Tromlin's
Rogue
is
Baker, Trickster Cleric,
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Tromlin
trickster, cleric, rogue, baker, and all-around party animal.
Right.
Tromlin
There we
Dario.
go. There we go.
Yep.
I love that we have young and old Tromlin here. Oh,
Yeah.
the art. I love the art of our show so much.
Excellent.
We had
Okay.
old Tromlin over there at one point. I don't know why it's using a different version. Maybe I'll change it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just break everything.
It's just OBS being OBS.
Oh, BS.
Yes. Oh, bullshit. Wah, 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 wah.
Wow.
As I try to refine things that I had open earlier. There we go. So when we last left our heroes, things were
I need
interesting.
dice.
As they always are. Dice? What do you need dice
I'm
for?
really
to play
good at
role-playing
this.
game?
I'm good.
I thought you were just going to roll Pico.
Yes.
He's been practicing roll over.
He has.
He's
he
still
doesn't
not
like
good
it.
at it unless you make him do it. But then you give him lots of praise.
Look at those wingies.
You should get him to fetch sometime on screen.
Yes.
So when we last left our heroes, the party began in last game in flight from the armies of the Duergar, with 2 rescued dwarf princes and a bunch of stolen library books in tow. Using all of Fetid's dungeoneering skills and Hollis Rockabilly's Dwarven Underdark knowledge, plus a pass without trace spell from Tromlin to lose their pursuers, while a great illusionary blue dragon kept them momentarily distracted. The team finding themselves deep in the Underdark with the sounds of pursuit falling behind, Hollis took a moment to speak with the princes and learned that Rockspire has been attacked and their father, the king's son, has fallen. Hollis then revealed that he has a scroll of stone travel that can get them back quickly to the city, but only dwarves can use it. So the party said their farewells after Hollis entrusted the books to Copernicus for further study, and then stepped into the wall, and a stone elemental took the 3 dwarves away. Further putting some distance behind you guys, the party continued fleeing until they managed to spot a Derogar ambusher lurking in wait. Morgan cast suggestion on him to reveal himself, while Fetid webbed up his companions, and a brief but brutal fight later, the group was left with their new prisoner/friend Zaxis, who has agreed to lead the party to the water or something along those lines. You guys weren't very specific with where you wanted him to take you.
I fully did not think that I was in charge of where we were going, and he meant, where do you live? A la, like, where you from, bitch? Where you going? And I was like, we're going somewhere, bitch, okay? I didn't think he
leading
needed
you
to sort of
directions. But that's on my character and me being a bit of a dumb bitch.
That's fair. We got it. We'll
This
figure it out.
resulted in many hours of marching and several exhaustion saves until eventually the group made camp and settled down for watches. Morgan and Ugna took the first watch, during which Morgan refused to confirm or deny proposing to Ugna while trying to get her a proper magical contract. Ugna took this as rejection, and her fairy-possessed reflection only made things worse.
Yep.
In the second watch, Morgan had a prophetic dream about a bald man casting evil magics on a cliff overlooking the desert, producing a black obelisk from the heart of the storm. In the morning, after a very important discussion about what stink is best, the trash heroes began putting clues together. Perny had determined that the stolen runebooks also included books of infernal magic that likely weren't the ones Sal was researching. They also cast Speak with Dead on the dead dwarf leader of House Glacius, who they had captured, and learned that he was working for, quote, a dark sorcerer from the surface to acquire rune magics. And they learned that this dark sorcerer dwells in the Tower of Durthang, a dark tower near the city of Morwindle, where Copernicus is from.
I'm
And
just
Morgan
getting
chose to
maps.
reveal her dream, conjuring up an image of the dark obelisk, which Perny realized is the place where he originally became a warlock, and that is where we left it.
I'm gonna put some
and I
maps over
start-
here.
What's that?
I'm gonna put up a map.
You going to put up a map?
A map is gonna
Putting
happen.
up some kind of map?
I just had to switch hands so that the bird was on a different hand. There we go. We are currently somewhere east of Rockspire, question mark.
Indeed.
The Girthang is the tower that was mentioned. And there's Morwindle. Maybe we're going there? Who knows?
I'm just checking Blue Sky. Did one of you guys post a thing, or should I?
I posted.
You did?
Yep.
Cool. Then I will just repost your post instead.
Pico. Pico's drinking my mint tea.
Is that
I have to
allowed?
bring my. Yeah, he can drink the mint one.
I mean, it's just water with leaves in it.
Yeah, but
Well,
I don't
yeah,
want him
but-
drinking my caffeinated teas.
Yeah, or sugar.
Ooh,
and
valid.
things like that.
Yeah. I usually put a little lid on so that he doesn't do this. Buddy, you're way too
You do
interested in tea.
this. Oh no.
Yum.
Okay. So, yeah, I think we should just join up, like
there.
in media res here, since I
We're
left
joining
it
up on
kind
the
of
res?
hanging. No. I just heard a crash from
That's
behind
okay.
me.
That was me.
Is everything okay in there?
Yes. I was putting the stone cover on my cup so Pico can't stick his head in there. Now that I'm drunk from it, because I don't want him getting human saliva.
Yes.
It's very bad. So, are we still in camp?
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember
yeah.
if
Like
we
you
moved on.
literally, it's the morning. Nope.
Right.
Like I just said.
Yeah.
You're not listening to the recap because you're like, I was there. I don't need it.
No, I remember.
No, I just said that in the morning, as you guys were discussing stuff, Morgan as Copernicus was talking about the Tower of Death, as you were questioning the corpse and asked, where is the Dark Wizard from? And the corpse
Right.
said, the Tower of Durthang. Copernicus or Morgan decided to reveal at that point, hey, I had this crazy dream, and showed you with an illusion the Dark Obelisk, which Copernicus recognizes. So
As
I will
Sure
kick the
thing.
role-playing ball to Peter and let us know how Copernicus responds to this information.
Before Copernicus responds, Peter just wants to make sure he understands the many threads here. So, House Classicus is the dwarf house of, and the raid leader, not like the leader of the house, but the raid leader from that house was the corpse that we questioned, who said that they were working with the leader of the Duragar, who is not Duragar, but is in fact a dark sorcerer of House Marin. Correct?
Not exactly,
Or,
but pretty
or,
close.
or that the sorcerer is from the Tower of Durthang, which we know to be in Morwindle, which would connect it to House Marin. What are the threads there? That's what I want to double check.
Yeah, so the Duragar are being worked with by the so you already knew from questioning the one living dwarf that you captured back when you discovered that some of the goblins were in fact dwarves wearing magical masks.
Yeah.
You questioned one of the one surviving dwarf who was a member, who discovered he was a member of House Glacius, discovered that House Glacius is indeed staging a coup, which you now know while you were gone has been actioned, or we presume that's why Rockspire has been attacked.
Yeah.
And that the House Glacius dwarves had some sort of alliance with the Duragar from the Underdark, and that alliance was being mediated by a bunch of weirdly possessed black-eyed goblin and kobold minions of some kind of dark sorcerer.
Okay.
And you have now learned that the dark sorcerer in question was seeking rune magic that was being taken to the Duragar by these goblin minions. And you know now from this questioning of the corpse that the dark sorcerer in question lives at Durthang, or Girthang.
Got it.
Cool.
Which is in Morwindle, which is
close to
why I'm
it.
suspecting
Which is
House.
north of
Here's
Morwindle.
Morwindle on the map, and then
but you also
Durthang's just
heard
north of there.
when you questioned the living dwarf, he referred to the sorcerer as some Marin sorcerer, like a sorcerer involved in some way with House Marin.
Right.
And you, Copernicus, are familiar enough with the noble houses of the north, and specifically the Marins, because Baron Nicholas Marin is the current Baron of Morwindle.
Okay.
Which happens to be a place where you have relatively recently, in your terms, been living.
Living, that's your terms.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So okay, cool. I'm just updating my digital red string conspiracy board.
Good.
And I want to make sure that I've got the connections right. Okay. Cool. And then separate from this, occurring at the same time, but not necessarily related, is that you, Morgan, had a dream vision of a tower that you then showed me, which I recognized to be the obelisk in the desert of Ix, where I got my powers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically because of you questioning this corpse and learning and going like, who is this dark wizard? Who wants the runes? Oh, it's a dark sorcerer. And where is that dark sorcerer from? Girthang. And that made Morgan
all
recall
the way over.
the dream she had last night and go, "Hey, is this relevant?" And I'll note that, you know, the bald magic user in black robes in that dream, who's on the cliff face, controlling the dust storm, would fit the description of dark sorcerer. If you know, just in terms of
Okay.
generally, you don't know if that's the guy specifically, but certainly
Desert of Ix is
he was
down
on
here,
the cliff looking over the desert.
and up
And
here
the
is
tower
the
you're saying
thing.
is not the obelisk. Those are different things.
Yeah,
No.
they're fairly
Okay.
far apart, actually.
The obelisk was somewhere out in the desert, but also you, Copernicus, and this is kind of why I wanted to know how you want to role play the reaction,
Sure.
because I don't know how much you're going to suppress these memories or how much you're going to acknowledge these memories. But you
Yeah.
specifically remember that obelisk being a place that you went into with Barb
Yeah. So I think
and
like
did certain things and spoke
Oh
to certain
my.
entities.
Oh my.
Perny is at the point where he wouldn't hold this
Thank you.
information back from the party, but he might still hold it back from himself. So the thing that I'm
That's
trying to
Kind
decide
of what I'm wondering.
How
is
much
if it's
are
like
you
a
repressing?
wisdom. I'm not sure if it's like a wisdom or a charisma saving throw, and I'm not sure if it's like if the true is Perny making a save to avoid remembering or making a save to remember, and it depends, I guess, on what you frame as the action that the hero wants, which he doesn't know.
I
It's very
am
morally
happy though
complex.
for you as the player to decide. Like, do you want?
Ooh.
I could see an argument to make this a wisdom save. I think that's the more appropriate than charisma.
Yeah,
Um,
but the
'Cause you're not
charisma
trying
save is
to
also like the person that Perny thinks he is, the force of personality, like literally the coherent concept of the self that he has constructed is wrapped around not acknowledging this, and that is a charisma save. Like that, the person that I am
Okay.
is definitively held
I'm-
together by this belief is a little bit of a charisma save to me.
I am
After-
happy to accept your
Interpretation.
interpretation
Morgan's
of that.
gonna set up a little.
Hang on, before you roll anything though, you should decide whether
I think
making the
I think-
save
yeah.
means you know it or means you
So Perny is rolling to suppress the memory, but he's going to roll a disadvantage, and he's going to roll a charisma saving throw. And I think I'll make it his own spell save DC.
Morgan's
Or
gonna
just
light some
distribute
sage while this is going on and smudge.
That,
Yeah,
that is
I'll
very
accept.
helpful.
Go ahead and make it as a go ahead and make it as a against your own
Oh,
spell
nice.
save.
I love
Now
that
I
you
have to
that as
figure
an
out like
emote.
what Barb's would be. Okay, so the chances of him making this aren't. Oh, okay, interesting. So he's got to hit a 10 on the die on one of these two, on both of these rolls.
Yep.
All right, first roll.
He's got a 50-50 shot, then affected by
Yeah,
disadvantage, and I think that's very reasonable.
2 on the first roll.
And this is you disassociating as you like hear this
As you
information. I
sit there
guess.
and just
Yeah.
stare.
No, this is him attempting to disassociate when
Yeah.
Attempting. Okay.
and
I think-
failing.
I think
Okay.
from the perspective of the players, there is a moment where like this would be the classic pan in, dolly out moment
Right.
in a film. Like that's the camera we're capping here.
Yeah.
Like Perny looks like I think his soul's been punched out of his body for a moment. I think his jaw literally drops and maybe even like distends a little bit. Like it's not supposed to go that low. And
Like
there's
it's
a moment.
real obvious that he recognizes this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. That helps me figure out how I'm gonna react.
Yeah, I think you might even see like behind one eye, like a dust cloud start to like roam up, and behind the other eye, like a cloud of locusts just starts spinning. And I imagine that actually Barb's bucket, you start to hear the little rattle of the lid as it like shakes and the runes light up. I
Still
think
a little underpowered, but you'll definitely. I'll get a perception check to see who notices the runes glow. So I get everyone else to make a perception check. I'd
Actually, roll a
also
14.
here. I'd love to see you role play the failed attempt to repress.
okay. All right, let me give that some thought while people are rolling. What does that look
Yeah.
like? How do you dramatize that?
I got a 7 on mine.
That's
you-
on my
you're
dice.
busy looking at Copernicus. Jeff,
17.
Nice.
you will absolutely know. You've always got your corner of your eye on that bucket ever since
I
you
got
looked into it.
a
I've learned my
13 for
lesson.
me. 13 for me.
And Alina,
14.
14. So the 13 and the 14 are too focused on Copernicus's reaction to
I think
notice the
I'm.
bucket sitting on the
I think
ground
I'm
off to the side.
in the process of handing it to like the sage bowl, the abalone shell with the sage in it to Perny.
You're like, you look like you just had some
yeah,
stuff to work through.
like the visions are hard already, and then what we like she's been going through it, but also like seeing something she cares about be like struggling, she'll hand him the medicine.
And so I think before he gets the medicine, there's that moment where Perny's like, the jaw drops, the eyes light up, and you hear him like kind of mumbling these like, even to himself, unconvincing sounding excuses like, "Oh, I must recognize it from a postcard. I have so many postcards at home, and oh no, but I haven't been to the desert of Ixen. It's been so long. It's been so long. It's been too long. I shouldn't have lived this long." And I think like you might even see for a moment like age creeping in on his face, like he's getting older in front of you, before he like sort of snaps back to himself and like I guess like feels the presence and the weight of the shell in his hands, smells the smoke coming off of the sage, and like it just the sensory input brings him back to the moment that he's in. And I think his hands are like shaking, which he doesn't normally do. He's like very still, calm, but I think his like hands are sort of shaking when he looks up and says, I think the tower is where it happened. I think it's where I made the choice to become what I am." I think he takes a moment to like breathe deeply and says, "I know that I have walked this world for a very long time with powers that aren't mine, but I think I always told myself, oh, I'm just borrowing a bit of inspiration from Barb, and that's all that is. And you know, I've just got a lot of mojo. That's how I managed to stay trim so long. But I think that my power might be borrowed from somewhere else, and I think it comes from this tower, or certainly this is the place that I signed whatever contract I signed. Oh dear.
Oh,
You roll a wisdom save,
so it doesn't
Copernicus.
come from like all of the demons and the talking to stuff that makes you go a little crazy. We have to hit you on the head. I thought that was the problem.
Those things come from this place.
Huh.
Wisdom save is a 15.
That's good enough. So I'm giving you a memory, a specific memory kind of dredges up because you failed the charisma save to repress. This wisdom save is working the other way. 15 is going to be the target, so you just made it. You definitely remember literally signing something.
Okay.
And you think at first you're like, this is a memory you've had before. It was just you writing your name in your book. But now you think maybe it was something else you were signing. Because you definitely don't know where that signature is in your book.
The guest book at the Pyramid Hotel.
I think there is a moment where Perny says, I think Grandpa done fucked up, and like pulls the tome out off his back, slams it on the ground, and starts like frantically pawing through it like he's looking for a particular page. Can I find anything that connects to the memory of signing it or anything like that, or is it just an old man's ramblings in here?
I mean, like this book is full of all kinds of like this book contains your demon summoning researches that has like the true names of various demons and so on. This book contains all of your rituals that you know. It contains the signatures of a number of your friends, and those are the pages that are the most dog-eared because those are the ones that you open up to and scribe with your finger whenever you're trying to perninet to people. But it also contains a foreword that you don't remember looking at like in a very long time. It's like if a book that you've read many times, you know, you're going to skip the pre-table of contents stuff, right? And that section is all written in like terrible infernal runes and script. And as soon as you open to that first first page that were what would be a title page in like a normal book.
I do think that actually Perny covered over those pages like by taping in like pinup postcard drawings of Barb,
They
like
crack
her on like
Yeah.
a
hook
beach.
loose. Now the
Sure.
page pries
In that
open.
case, that's what's there, but you definitely
Yeah.
are hyper aware of the text under them. You
Yeah.
have to take the pictures out to read it.
Yeah. I think Perny stops and realizes that he's not going to solve this problem like right this second. I think this is like a Knights of Study problem. So he closes the book up, and I think, and this might be unusual because like usually when he talks about Barb, he kind of talks to Barb, like it's like she's in the conversation, and this may be the first time where he's talking about her like she's not there, even though the bucket's there, and he's just kind of shaking his head and saying, "I don't know why she didn't tell me. I still would have signed. She could have told me, and I still would have signed. I don't know why she didn't tell me." And he looks just like a little bit lost.
Oh, Ugna actually like puts her arm around you and pulls you in for a little side hug. I'm just like, hey,
I think he kind
hey.
of like accepts it, sort of half comes back to himself, but you can still tell something a little bit
Yeah.
shattered
Yeah.
inside him at the moment. Well, thank you. I don't know if our path will take us there, but I will try to be ready for it if it does. And if I remember more about what I know about it, I will certainly tell you. It's all a little foggy right now.
While this moment is happening, Fetid,
Yes.
not only did you know, are you the only one who noticed the bucket sitting a few feet away at where by the fire where Copernicus was sitting,
Mhm.
with the runes throbbing slightly, although at this point they start to fade. But you also notice, because I made the rolls for this, Zaxis, you notice Zaxis noticing the bucket, and while you're all preoccupied, curiously going over to it and reaching towards the lid.
Oh no.
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you, buddy. You would regret that.
Are you? Is this a direct interaction?
Yes.
He says, the bucket is full of some kind of magic. Zaxis notice.
Yep, you are
Glowing
absolutely
symbol.
correct.
This,
But
this
Touching
bucket
magic that
of
isn't
bad
yours
magic?
ends up with you often getting eaten by
Yeah.
that magic.
I
Alright.
looked in there once and it made me go insane for a while, so I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Oh yes, yes. Zaxis remembers the bad popcorn buckets. Yes,
Mhm.
the magic popcorn, very tasty or very make insane. So Zaxis will not eat.
Very make insane.
Very make it say.
Mhm.
Look, Bernie, sometimes the stuff that we did in the past doesn't matter as much as the stuff that we do now. And as long as I've known you, you've always done maybe not, good, but the best that you could, and you've helped out your family, and no one can really ask anything more of you than that, right?
Well, my worry is that I've agreed to be asked something more than that, and I don't know who I agreed that with, and I don't know what they're going to ask. And if I do have a bill that will come due, it has been collecting some 230 years of interest.
Yeah,
That's,
but like I didn't
little
understand the
concerning.
agreements that I got into either, but Tromlin was here to help me out. And you know that Tromlin and me will be right by your side this whole time, right? We're not going anywhere.
think
We're
that-
gonna help you get through it.
I think that Perny does actually like a smile reaches his eyes for the first time in this
Yeah,
conversation.
and then I give you a little extra squeeze. Just a little-
It's like,
At that, you look
Breaking a
around
few
and
ribs.
Tromlin is gone.
Tromlin?
Hey,
Tromlin?
Tromlin,
He's still
buddy.
here in spirit.
Did he disappeared last episode? Or
He was here.
He was
last
in his like bunk,
game.
I think, and now it's just like empty.
In fact, you had a watch together with him where
Yeah.
you had
Yeah.
some heart to heart.
Tromlin, did the fairies get you again? Trump?
I'm gonna pull out the book and send him a DM. Wait, where are you at?
Hey, you up?
I'm standing in the dark corridor. Where are you?
Once again, you get a response that starts to
Oh
fill
no.
in very, very slowly, and you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh god.
Oh god.
Here we go again.
Actually, you might not even see anything for a bit. Like it might take a little while before you start to see the beginnings of a letter start to appear.
Think about when the internet was new and
Oh
you were
yeah.
downloading a picture of Tifa Cloud, and
Listen,
at first all
back
it
in
was
my
the top of her
day-
head.
Finally,
back in
you had to
my
wait for
day,
it
the
overnight.
internet screamed at you, and you had to leave it overnight if you wanted to download a GIF.
Mhm.
Not even an animated one. Just a regular old GIF.
Remember when you used to
Peter.
look forward to going back to college because you'd have a good internet connection?
Peter, if you want to try and dredge up any further memories while you currently are in the state of having failed the repression save, you may do so with additional wisdom saves. It's up to you.
I'll do one more, but Perny's not reaching too deep. He's like kind of like swishing his hand along the surface and seeing if any fish swim up to it. He's not like
Yep.
going down in the
Diving
muck.
in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Morgan's
So same
gonna
target, 15.
Morgan's gonna take your hand and try and help you with this. And I was thinking of using suggestion to do so. Like,
do you want to just? I
to-
think. Do you
I
have
was like,
one of the?
I do have lucky.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking. There's a cantrip that beefs saving throws, and I'm checking to see if you have it.
Resistance.
That
You
would be
do
nice, but no,
not,
I don't.
Tromlin has it, but he
Oh,
is
of
not
course.
here now.
Right. They
Um,
got zapped by the fairies.
Yeah. And I would tell people very quickly that I think Trauma
Well, I
is
was
out
just
of
wondering.
cell range again.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Did he? You know the thing on the other side.
Yeah, I still haven't sprung for the interdimensional roaming plan. They
Those are expensive.
5 blood sacrifices a month, and you don't even know if you're going to use it. And I just they really get you with it.
I was
think it's
just
bad
thinking
there.
of using suggestion as a way to be like, go fucking hard, bro. Like as a pep talk of like, you like just go and dive deep. Let's figure it out now while we like have this chance.
You're going to do it. It is mandatory.
Yeah.
yeah.
I also just have guidance that I can use as well.
That
But
works.
I will take either or both.
yeah, but guidance doesn't affect the saving throw. But you know what? I'm gonna take. You know what, Morgan? Make me either a medicine check or Arcana. Arcana's better for
Arcana,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Because this ceremony you've done of smudging in Copernicus's direction, I think is a more
Useful. Yeah.
potentially helpful.
Yeah.
Like it's trying to like give him clarity. Clarity is what he's shooting for here. So if you succeed at a DC 15,
oh yeah, I got that. I got 15 on the dice.
Look at our DM
Oh,
giving you
yeah.
advantage on a traditional knowledge roll. I love this.
Yeah.
So that's a 21 total.
that will give advantage to Copernicus on this saving throw.
Nice.
And the guidance is a D4, right?
Nice.
No, the guidance doesn't apply because this is
Oh, that's right. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Roll in the first roll. Hey! So that's a 20 on the first roll, and we're gonna fish for a crit here. Dirty 20. We're gonna stick with the dirty 20.
Okay, that's still pretty dang good
Mhm.
on a 15 difficulty. So you kind of push your way a little deeper, and you were just thinking about like Barb and why didn't Barb ask you? And you now kind of you remember having some conversations with Barb before the signing or the ritual or whatever it was that went on in there. You kind of through the cloud, you kind of remember maybe you were a little more in the know about what you were getting into than you remember. And whether you dig push deeper into that or not. You rolled a 20, so I might give you more, but
I think
I'm
Bernie would want
curious
more. If that's the tidbit,
Okay.
he wants more. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. You have like a flash of memory of like doing some kind of ritual magic with Barb to as part of her regular maintenance of kind of extreme undeadness. You kind of have a flash of memory of like removing wrappings and renewing herbs and casting magic, and you kind of are like, I think I knew more than I thought I knew.
Okay.
And how far you push into that memory, like you could then attempt another save and try and go further into that memory, but it's up to you.
I think Perny would. I think that finding out that Barb isn't to blame or like didn't deceive him is something that he wants the comfort of that. So I think he would keep going. Do I still have advantage?
Yeah, I'll say yes.
Okay, 19 and 24.
Pretty good.
24 is pretty dang good. Yeah, you have a bit more of an insight into maybe not being that nice of a person at a certain time.
Ooh.
You remember kind of like you remember a bit of motivation. You remember like not so much the feeling of power as the feeling of what leads up to getting the power, i.e., the craving of power.
Okay.
You remember a certain amount of like, I am getting where I need to get to. I am getting the thing that I am seeking.
And then something so bad happened that you
and
forgot all of it.
Barb was a bit of a means to that
Okay.
end of power.
I think as you're like I don't know if you're still holding Perny's hands or holding the shell or
Yeah, I
rolling
think
it.
you're being held by Ugna.
Yeah, it's still got an armor. You're like
And-
tucked in our Ugna's
and
arm
Morgan's
side.
kind of kneeling in front of you, holding your hand steady underneath the shell. And the sage is like wafting up at both of our faces.
I think it has been a very long time since I began walking this path. And I think I had forgotten the reasons that I decided to do it and then made up new reasons. And I'm worried that who I was then and what I would have agreed to, given the things I cared about, um, isn't good. That it could put all of us at risk.
Can I
And
throw you
that
one more tidbit?
I've been a
One more
naive
quick
for a very
tidbit?
long time. Yeah.
Just one more quick tidbit that through this crack of repression, your incredibly strong arcana knowledge, and I'm not even going to make you roll this, a thing that you have absolutely, for certain, without question, always known. It is not possible for a warlock to be tricked into the bargain. It has to be, in all cases, all warlocks, it has to be fully agreed upon, of sound mind, etc.
We have to change Perny's intro to intentionally became an ancient undead
Yes.
warlock and then
Yes.
forgot about it.
Yes.
Eh,
Or
Happens sometimes.
quotations, you know.
Yeah.
This is the thing that you remember, but
He
that doesn't necessarily mean you
accidentally.
have to say anything about it. Okay.
I don't think I was a particularly kind person as a young man, and I think I'm remembering that now. And I'm worried that I'm still inheriting some decisions that I made then. But I'm going to dwell on this, and I will let you know if any mistakes I've made could come to bear on us now in the present. And if our path does take us toward that tower, then I think we will have more hard conversations to come.
whatever comes, you're going to deal with it with your new tools and your new way of looking at life. That's all
That's
you
a
can
rude
do.
thing to call me.
I think Perny kind of like starts to just pull everyone into like a
Oh, big group hug.
awkward. Like his arms are small and short, and he's not tall, so he's
Awkward
getting
group
like
hug.
yeah, he's like eye level with Fetid, but like knee level with Ugna, and just
Yeah.
bringing
I
everybody.
squirt free like if you try to squeeze a bar of soap.
There, actually, just before you squirt free, there's like a pause as Ugna's giving everyone a big hug, and then she bursts into tears. It's just like,
Oh.
I love you guys! And then Fetid goes flying off because she squeezed
Yep.
a little too tight.
Flirt.
Perny just cries dust, and like also like 2 locusts crawl out of his eyes and just flitter off into the darkness.
Fly away.
You wipe your nose and there's just a centipede on your hand.
Yeah.
From behind you hear, yes, he's very touching. He's he's
Sorry,
still going.
Zaxxas.
He's
We
still
just
going
need a minute.
today.
Just need a minute.
Is maybe stay here for time. If
Yeah,
they
take-
stay here, Zaxxas says to maybe if we find food. He's hungry. Maybe eat kobold.
Oh, I don't think we're gonna do that. We did just
No.
lose our chef, though. We'll figure something out. We'll
No,
figure
not
Okay.
this kobold, other kobold.
No.
We keep forgetting about that guy.
Food
Yeah.
kobold. He's like
dead.
jerks a thumb in the direction of the tied up and gagged still kobold. Zaxxas assumed food kobold.
I mean, maybe. We haven't ruled it out yet.
Yeah, I'm not
I
real
thought he
big
might
on
give us.
eating people that can talk. Or
Yeah.
even people that can't talk. Just don't eat people generally is kind of how I
It's
do
weird.
things.
And talk right now.
No.
There's gotta be
Zaxxas, are
some-
you imagining that the kobold's gag is an apple and that he's roasting on a spit
Mhm.
right now?
hmm
No, but it's good idea.
There's gotta be some cave mushrooms or something around here, right? Like there's stuff
You
to
probably
eat
shouldn't
in the
eat
Underdark.
kobold. I think that's toxic for most life forms. I'm not even sure I could eat a kobold without getting ill.
Jesus Christ. And as
glaring-
this has been being said, Morgan is like clearing the schmear that was left of the group hug
Yes.
because it's just like attached and trying to embed itself in the leaves of her
Mhm.
bodice.
Slowly eating through some of your clothing.
Yeah.
Acidic.
Perny will give Zaxxas some hard candy, some Werther's original, and then say, "Well, I'm ready to travel if need be, forage if need be."
Maybe we can
should
find some
keep
weird bugs.
taking time.
You guys still have a decent amount of rations with you. It hasn't been
Okay.
that long.
Okay.
It's been a few days since you set out with Hollis. And you did bring some provisions with you.
Then I will
It's
take
just that because Tromlin isn't
rations
here
out
this
for
morning,
everyone.
breakfast didn't magically appear like
Yeah.
it does every morning.
I'll dig rations out and put them around, but I will still say maybe we can find some weird bugs. Those are always good on a
You
stick.
probably can. I just
And
start
you-
like checking my pockets.
Oh yeah, you just like you loads of them. They flock
Wherever
to you.
there's fetid, there is weird bugs.
hmm
Part of the swarm. Well, Meg has come for a visit too.
Meg is here. Pico left so she can come out.
She says, "I am looking for a place on you to nest, please.
Yes, please.
I would like to lay eggs."
No, she wants to eat my paper. I have a character sheet
Oh.
here and it's delicious.
Oh, that's much worse.
We were talking about rations and she's like, "Ooh, paper. Paper's my favorite
That
kind of
seems to
food."
be rations for me. Okay. Yeah, so
We set off.
the kobold has clearly awoken and is glaring at you all over his gag with his like solid black eyes.
Don't you glare at us. We're just trying to convince this guy not to eat you.
Also, I think if you eat him, maybe you become evil too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't risk it.
very possible.
Like, is this like one of those mushroom guys situations where they're all full of mushrooms? But in this case, it's like demons.
I would certainly advise not eating
You'll
Demon
recall
infested.
that when you tried to use Speak with Dead to question one of the goblins that had the black eyes, you were briefly possessed by some sort of shadow spirit.
Bad.
Hate it when that
Yeah.
happens.
I'd recommend you don't eat that there. Zach's this old buddy, old pal. Could be dangerous.
Oh, Kaichu suggests that they should be called worthless originals.
Oh my
Good.
goodness. Beautiful.
Good.
That's very good.
Yep.
Very
Excellent.
good.
So what's up?
I think we're ready to
Let's
travel.
head
Yeah.
on the road.
Let's get out of
You're
here.
We
still,
have just like gnawing at hardtack instead of our lovely breakfasts that
Right.
we've become accustomed to.
so you're still gonna schlep this kobold
I would say
around?
What are we gonna
Take it.
do with this guy? Were you gonna
do
do
you
some
have
like
plans?
magic to him, Bernie? Or like
I mean, he's alive. We could just talk to him. The magic of friendship.
yeah, but isn't he like all mind controlled or something? He's got like demons in him.
Still, I'm gonna crack an eyelid and just see if he's all demonic.
Oh yeah, his eyes are still jet black. Like Zaxxas has black eyes as well as a Durogar, but like in the sense where they're still white at the edges, like it's that whole I live underground and my pupils have gotten huge because I can see perfectly well in almost like pitch blackness. Um, whereas
Whereas this
this
guy's got
kobold
demons.
has like shadow demon possession crap going on.
Could I attempt to so I have a few minds here, and none of these things are strictly attached to any spells or functions that I have, but they might be adjacent to some. The two thoughts that I'm having are one, I don't think the kobold's gonna know a whole lot. I think the demon is. So I'm wondering if I can like draw the circle that I normally draw for demonic summoning to like contain the spirit and see if we can get a bit of time to question it, like exercise a demon. Not what I'm used to doing. I'm used to bringing them in, but so I attempt to either exercise the demon and keep it trapped in a circle so we can get some questions in it, or if not that, then just try and like draw the demon out somehow. So at the very least, we can talk to the kobold and see if it knows anything, and also then he's not possessed for the rest of his life.
Bernie, I'm liking your ideas, but also I'm fucking hungry. Can we just get out of here and get like a fucking meal? I'd give anything for a greasy spoon right now. Let's just go. We'll figure it out when we get there. We'll keep them fed and watered. Yeah, like we need to get out of here.
That
God.
works for me.
I'll hold the kobold like I was gonna feed Trey and like give him some hardtack because I'm worried about losing a finger. We try to feed him normally.
I mean, I'm assuming you guys have been feeding him, otherwise he would be dead by now.
Yeah.
Because you've had him for
It's been a
several
couple
days.
days.
So if you haven't been giving him water at least, he's
Yeah.
definitely not survived. So I will assume, yeah, you as you have been doing for days, you like move the corner of the gag and dribble water and mush up some like hardtack with like water to make a paste and like dab it on his mouth so that he eats it and keep him alive.
It's hardtack and
Or you like
mayonnaise.
full on like pull the gag off and throw him a chunk of dried meat and then
The
he
non.
ravenously like goes and then you like grab him and force the gag back in.
Yeah.
Whatever you've been doing. He hisses at you.
We feed him and then I hoist him back over my shoulders and off we go.
Well, Peter, make
What-
me an Arcana check just based on what you were saying earlier.
Okay, if we do the interrogation, we'll do it later. And maybe Perny
No,
can
this is
facilitate
this is
for-
just to realize something in terms of how the magic works.
22.
Yeah, so you don't think the circle would work because the demon is where it's supposed to be. Like if you put a circle around it, maybe the demon can't cross it, but then neither would the kobold. But also like you're supposed to inscribe a specific demon in that, and you'd have to do some other investigating. But you do know that if you were able to like perceive the demon, and there's various ways to potentially try and do that, you could banish it out of like an exorcism in this case when it is a banishment.
Okay.
So if you and you have various tricks
Gem of True Sight for
to potentially
Helm's Gate.
see it. Yeah, there's the Gem of True Sight, although I don't remember if Tromlin had the Gem of True Sight currently. I think you might be the one who has it currently.
I think I'm the default holder, but I may have given it to someone at some point during one of these fights. I don't remember.
I think
You
I was
used it at
using
one
it.
point, but I think
Yeah.
it went back
I think it
to
went
someone
back.
else. But I think it might have gone back to Tromlin. I'm
It,
just
it
checking. his
either
sheet.
it like bounces between Tromlin and Copernicus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's currently with
seems likely.
Tromlin.
Okay.
Because it's the reason is because Tromlin has the much better perception.
Yeah.
But you have
So
the
it just
better
makes
Arcana,
sense
so
for Tromlin to use it a lot of the time.
Yeah. Ghostly
Um,
Gaze won't help me here. Devil's Sight won't help me here.
Devil's
Yeah,
Sight in combination with some other trickery might though.
Okay. Well, we'll save that for
Devil's
later.
Sight allows you to see magic.
Yeah.
which this thing is. But anyway, just
Morgan's getting
something you think of when you're trying to think about what could you do to separate the demon or speak to the demon.
Morgan has been getting like progressively bitchier as time goes on, and is even like gathering just things that she's seen used in the ritual cast for Pass Without Trace and to do rangery things, and is just like dumping them in front of Fetid and being like, "Can we get this going? Can we get this going now? Thank you. I would
What's
love
wrong,
that.
babe? You've barely touched your hardtack.
Can we go? Do you what else do you need for this ritual? I know it's been great help. I love it. I love you. You're the best. Thank you so much. Let's get out of here, okay? All right. We need to eat. I understand you can eat anything. And she's just like very pushy with Fetid and just relying fully on the fact that he does not perceive her passive aggressiveness.
Nope.
To just be like,
Completely
let's
missing it.
go. Do you need a hand with this ritual? I will give you a hand with this ritual. What do you need? Tell me, and we'll get it going.
So another Pass Without Trace then from Fetid. You're all
Yeah.
back to full spell slots,
cool.
with the exception of Copernicus's. Actually, you know what? You did the. Oh, by the way, we never finished the last question
We did a long rest
for the
though,
dwarf,
right?
which was supposed to be Morgan was going to ask about last rites.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But I think through all of this discussion, it's quite straightforward for you to have done so.
Okay.
What were you going to do with the body? You had talked about trying to bring it with you and maybe questioning it again in 10 days.
I think we can probably chuck it at this point, or not chuck it, but observe its last rites.
Throw it
She's
down
like,
a
okay.
ravine.
Morgan's gonna very awkwardly look at the body and then look at Barb. And then look at Perny. And then look at the body and Barb.
Yeah, she's always up for a snack.
I mean, we can do the ritual that would be preferred for the soul, and then waste not, you know.
How do
Yeah.
dwarves
That sounds good.
generally like to
I
be
think he
buried?
would have wanted to be butchered and fed to an ancient spirit and then kicked down a hole. I think that's what he would.
Probably. If you gotta go.
Morgan will do the last rites per the answer to the question, and
Nope,
then
you lost your.
Nope, Meg has disconnected me.
Oh no!
what a silly burb.
Bird problems. Bird problems has screwed up my stream. At least I'm still DM.
Wait. Is anyone overlapping or?
Yeah, it's the Morgan
Oh, wait.
Copernicus overlap again.
But yeah, so Morgan will perform some like last rites, to the best of her knowledge, because she just assumed that Tromlin would be here. But then we'll
Make
then we'll
me
then
a
yeah.
religion check to see how good this goes. You have a flat roll.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to do it at all if it wasn't for the fact that he described the rites.
Yeah. All right. I'm using my this like very trans-colored dice that I got. Oh,
There we go. Fixed it.
that's an 18 on the roll. 18
Excellent.
flat.
Okay. So yeah, he wants the rites of the dwarven burial rite, which you're like, okay, that's really complicated and we can't really probably do it because certainly it involves being like placed in a tomb. which we don't have the stone tools or opportunity to build.
Mm-mm.
But you can. But this
We could do
whole
a blood
like
tomb.
Blood
yeah,
tomb?
Tomb of
Blood
blood?
tomb?
Tomb of Blood.
yeah, this butchering and feeding and maybe blood tomb might be the closest that you can get.
All right. Well,
Certainly, you can
so she's
speak
gonna
some of the
turn
like
to
standard.
Ugna and be like,
Yeah, Ugna knows the dwarf speech.
I don't know the like any last rites prayers in Dwarven, but that would probably be something that needs to be done.
I mean, I haven't really gone to a lot of dwarf funerals, but I'll do my best. And
I mean,
Ugna
even
will
just speaking in Dwarven, you know.
really solemnly sort of like press her hands together and then recite the like food blessing that we would say over the meals every night.
Great.
Oh
Yes.
my god!
Good food, good eats. Dead
Yeah.
dwarf, let's eat.
And then
And then-
Bernie's on the sidelines with a fork and knife. in
Yeah,
the
and then
bucket.
like add a line in about like
Very appropriate.
from the stone you were born, go back to the stone, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Sounds
eat.
plausible.
Oops, not that part though.
Yeah. Morgan doesn't speak
And
Dwarven,
then-
so she's just like
It
very
sounds really
beautiful,
good.
Yeah.
very
It sounds very good.
Yeah,
like very sacred.
I'm already like poking various parts of the body to see where the good stuff might be.
Just like he would have wanted.
I mean, this dude
Mhm.
betrayed the king. Like, we don't need to give him a nice funeral.
Yeah. Morgan cannot help herself in her curiosity and wants to see this thing get eaten by Barb and her friends.
I mean, like Copernicus literally cuts his heart out. I mean, his already like really rigor mortis I guess his chest would be like have gone through the bloating period and now be like shriveling.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you pierce the skin with the tip of the knife, there's like a bunch of like stinky nasty that like oozes out from
He's starting to like
interior rotting.
cave age a little bit.
Yeah, it's
Morgan-
that process where it's your own gut bacteria that start the decomposition process once the immune functions cease.
Morgan's
Fun fact,
got
you're the
her
only
own
thing
like
keeping your gut flora from eating you.
past.
Yep.
Yeah. Morgan's wearing like a pastel plague type mask that
Cute.
is filled with like flowers and spices and stuff because she's had to have made this to be within this
Just to be
party.
around us.
And is like wearing that and like some little steampunky that have like little steampunky goggles on them so that she can watch
With
this horrific
rhinestones.
mess. Obvious. No, yeah, like actual crystals and gems
Good.
on it. Yeah.
Good.
Love it.
Excellent. Excellent.
We are
Um,
awful people.
I would like a roll from Morgan. You know what? I call this a percentile. This is a wild magic thing.
Bet.
Just roll me 1 percentile dice. Roll,
One
please.
percentile. The 1d10? Okay.
Like you don't roll 2 and then choose the best. Roll a d100 once.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
no,
just
you know
like
what?
1d10.
I'm gonna give you your normal wild magic thing. So roll twice.
Okay.
And just tell me what the numbers are.
All right. The flowery is the first number. That's a 26 and a 58.
Then you get to choose the one that you want, which I already know. Okay, so having finished this ritual of maybe last rites for the dwarf,
Oh,
or
two.
maybe it's more a
to
a
Morgan?
dinner ritual.
Last wrongs.
Yeah.
Last wrongs.
Name of the episode, Last Wrongs.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Last
Absolutely.
wrongs.
No, to
and
Morgan. She doesn't know
Ugna-
Dwarven, so she just assumes that it's
Oh yeah,
Very
yeah,
legit.
it sounded very lovely,
yeah.
and then
Actually, no,
Copernicus cut his
let me
heart
do
out
a-
and like
Let
got
me do a performance
rotten
on
goo
that.
everywhere.
14 plus 5? 19.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, put
19
some
Sounds
stank
great.
on there.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, none of you guys speak Dwarvish. You're like, oh, that was like actual Dwarven last rites.
Oh,
Excellent.
nice.
Sounded like really profound and moving.
I'm going to make a little roll to see if I can remember any of it for future last rites.
Are you
I
giving
rolled
last
pretty well.
rights
I
over our dinner?
whatever
Like, don't
whatever
worry
the
about it.
bonus would be, whatever the bonus is, I don't know, but 15 on the dice to be able
Sounds good.
to
I'll keep that in mind in
yeah,
future.
to be able to recall it the next time we're at a dwarven funeral. That
So,
won't go
yeah.
horribly at
No,
all.
No,
no.
of course not.
So
Yeah.
Ugna hoists the trunk onto her back again, and Copernicus climbs inside his library.
Mhm.
Um,
Our travel library.
and you sling over top the bound and gagged kobold, and the various packs of food and such that you bring with you.
Mhm.
Some of which are probably slung over Ollie's back, along with Fetid, who's a light load. And floating grandpa can float alongside as you head on down the road. There's been a meal break here. I think will qualify for a short rest, Copernicus. So you're back with your one spell slot that you used.
I thought we did. I thought this was a whole long rest we did.
You did, and then you cast Speak with Dead.
Oh,
You're-
right.
you're
Yes.
back up
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
You only have the two, so but a short rest, I think, would be involved with the meal that you all ate.
Okay.
After Zaxxas bitched about it.
Morgan has taken out of her, and Ugna will have perfect line of sight for this as Morgan's riding on his shoulder as usual. Is going to take out of her bag the bag of holding a scone.
There is no food in your bag of holding other than
The Fae food that she's stolen and wants to do some trickery with later.
Actually, you go to climb up to your normal spot on Ugna's shoulder, and she kind of goes, "Oh, hey, I got the dead kobold and the trunk. Do you mind walking today?"
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Can I roll some side eye? Can I roll for side eye?
What do you mean?
Oh, against Ugna. I want to roll side eye against Ugna. I want Ugna to feel really bad for making me walk. Would that be what is side eye? Does anybody know offhand what the side eye?
I
Intimidate,
didn't even
maybe.
know what you meant.
Either intimidate or
Oh.
like insight. Are you trying to figure out what Ugna's doing, or are you just trying to make her
Could
know
also
she's
be
No.
fucked up?
perception.
Maybe
I would say performance.
deception.
Performance.
No, because you're
Performance,
not trying to deception would be trying to hide that you're giving somebody
Yeah.
side eye.
Yeah.
You want her to feel bad about how. So this isn't acting. This is like you
No.
like
Yeah.
Going,
pretending
oh, my
that like
hooves hurt.
you're
Oh,
very
no,
put
I'm fine. I'll
upon.
carry on.
No, it's more like no, that's totally fine. I can
Yeah.
definitely walk. It's fine.
I will
And you
roll
can feel bad about it.
my amazing insight.
Then I would say that there is no need for a roll
Yeah.
because like if you're not trying to hide, you're just blatantly saying, yeah, fuck you.
I would say I would say the performance is that it seems normal and that I'm not being mean, but the effect is that you feel bad in denying carrying me.
Okay, so it's
Okay,
still a
so
performance roll then.
You
because
like
your
laugh it off
goal
and
is-
walk away.
But
and
yeah,
then
like
there's a moment where Ugna's eyebrows kind of draw together, like she's gonna like either apologize or ask you to sit on her shoulder again, and then
Mm.
that kind of turns into a frown, and she looks off into the middle distance and just keeps walking.
I rolled a 17 for performance.
Yeah, then it hits. I feel it.
Yeah.
That's why you
All
get
right.
that like moment of like, oh.
Yeah.
And then she goes, no. Or like
I never
like confused
said-
or introspective, which is not something she usually looks like.
Mm-hmm. I never said Morgan wasn't a petty bitch.
Oh no, absolutely not.
No, in fact, you said the opposite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you go into the next cavern. So you're in this little tiny cavern next to a little trickle of water that Tromlin was using for cooking. And you go into another cavern. Zaxxas is like, follow Zaxxas. This is way we are going now. Not the other cavern. That way, lots of nasty slimes.
Yeah.
Lots
Nah.
of slimes.
These way much better. Dry stone. And you go down you go down this almost stairs like stone with a big chasm to one side, and he leads you around this big curve, and then starts rising again. And the next turn, he suddenly stops dead in his tracks and says, "Huh,
What's up?
What's wrong, buddy?
he's different. He's misty." And you come up and look over his shoulder, and you see that where the cavern is widening out is full of like some kind of semi-dense fog underground.
Is this fog
Uh,
magical in nature? Can I see with my?
Vaguely, yeah. There's some sparkles, and as the fog kind of parts, as you sort of like at the edge of it, having taken a few steps in, you see a diner.
Hey.
Oh, cool.
Oh, thank God.
Does it have chicken legs?
It does indeed. It is
Oh, hey.
in fact. It is in fact
Baba Yaga's.
Baba
Morgan-
Yaga's.
Hell
Morgan
yeah.
Yaga's Waffle House.
runs. Morgan dashes to this diner. Morgan moves faster than you've probably ever seen. We're like day one without like a good meal after Tromlin has been treating us so well.
Mhm.
She runs. She double moves into this diner.
I
You
can
like,
see you almost
bolt.
casting haste, like deciding is it worth an expenditure of spell slot for haste.
Mhm.
She,
Copernicus, I'd like.
we're not out of it yet, so she's not doing that. I considered Misty Step.
Rolling
Just
Arcana.
instantly in a booth.
Yep.
15.
Yeah, I won't give you all of the information for a 15, but I will say that as you all approach this diner, Morgan sprinting and leading the way, with like the leaps and bounds, because Morgan has the ring of jumping.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You
Parkour.
as you approach, the nature of the cavern changes entirely, and the closer you get to the diner, the more it's like green, bright emerald plants and brightly colored toadstools and shimmering mist. And Copernicus, with that 15, this feels like a corner of Feywild extending into the Underdark here. And Morgan, as you go up to the doors and go in, inside you see the usual haggard-looking ogre chef behind the counter, with who's naked from the waist up except for his apron, and
She gives
covered
him
in
such
grease.
a big hug. She's
Um,
He's
she
got,
is
like,
all
a
over this
cigarette here,
guy.
a cigarette here, one behind his ear.
As you
Smoking and
approach,
cooking.
though, Morgan,
Mhm.
the couple of waitresses that are in the place both give you an almost surreptitious, one of them a bow and one of them a curtsy, and then they both wink and do this as just before the others come in.
Okay.
And I'd like a perception check from the rest of you, but it's
Yeah.
very high difficulty.
Yeah.
I need you to break at least a 20.
If I could
Is it
spend
un-
willpower
well,
on this,
I
I
am
would.
the most perceptious guy in the world because that is a 26.
Is it unethical
Cool.
to not tell your friends that they are in a Fae Diner? How hungry am I? Does it really matter?
I really hope your
Hmm.
friends have noticed the last time you guys were here that it was a Fae Diner.
Mm.
Huh? It's just
The
a magic
biggest
diner
clue
that
being
shows
that
up.
it
Yeah.
appeared out of nowhere
It's
and
a
walked
magic
over
diner.
to them.
Yeah,
mean,
I don't
it's very-
question waffles that appear.
No.
Plain, 'cause
I,
I like being happy.
Like
Continue
the
to
last time you
roll
were at Magic
poorly.
Waffle House, I hope you at least had some inkling that it
No.
wasn't a normal.
Oh.
But
Maybe
this,
you guys were just like, "Hey, this
this-
is Dwarmerdale."
That's
is
I
it
thought it was
perception or
Wimmerdale.
investigation?
Perception.
Okay, then it is a
This
6,
is
not a
noticing a thing
5.
you would not. Okay. Then not oblivious as hell. You
Ooh.
smell bacon and waffles.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I
Yeah,
have a 26 on perception.
Nice. And Copernicus,
I got a 9.
yeah, you're just happy to be there.
I think like yeah, Perny is like noticed like oh the Waffle House and it's connected
Yeah,
somehow to the Feywild. They must have gotten a contract in the Feywild. Good for them. Good for them.
you're also like kind of distracted by being like interested. Oh, the magical structure, and it's here.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember Morgan wishing that there was a greasy spoon.
Yeah, and I was
Oh,
like, whenever we
Something
wish
to
that there's food, this thing shows up. That's great. Good magic. And
that's so good.
any
so
reservations
good.
are gone as soon as there is the smell of bacon in the
Mhm.
air.
No, they don't even take
Right.
reservations.
But fetid.
They better not.
I mean, that's true of real Waffle Houses too. Um,
You
They
just
just
don't want
laugh
the
at you
Fey
if you
Waffle
call and
Houses to
ask
be
for a
closed.
reservation.
That's
Mm.
bad.
I mean, they don't even answer the phone, frankly.
Yeah.
Fetid,
Yeah.
you notice just as you kind of like slip in the door, as the others are all sort of, as Morgan charges in, and you're probably kind of next just because you were on Ollie's
Because
back.
food.
Yep. And as you come through the door, you catch the tail end of the winking to there seems to be a knowing glance happening between Morgan and the staff.
Oh.
And then Morgan runs up and hugs the ogre chef and says something about being so glad to see them. But then they all immediately go like surreptitious, like the staff are like, "How many in your party? You can take a booth over there." Actually, no,
Okay.
I shouldn't say. They're more like, "Yeah, sit over there."
Yeah.
Got to do the Waffle House staff.
Morgan will release the chef so he can get back to work and be like, can I just take this? And is like, at any like food item that is available that is being prepared or is like ready for someone else's order, she's like, please, can I just have like one little bite, please?
So there are a couple other patrons.
Mm-hmm.
In one far corner, in like the very back corner, there's always that one area of a Waffle House that's actually got a corner to it with like the bigger booth.
Mhm.
There's the large booth, and then there's the absolute back end corner that's the farthest from the entrance. In the back end, there's inexplicably a lot of shadow there. Even though this place has like generic like electric lights, there's like a flickering one in that direction, and it creates some shadow. And sitting in the corner are two tall, very beautiful looking elvish like fey figures in like extremely fancy formal wear, sitting together and whispering. And then at the largest table in the leg of the Waffle House, is a huge group of little goblin-y imp type creatures. They might be some kind of brownie or
Drama teens.
yeah, and they're all sort of like and like falling over, like they're clambering around on the seats and falling over one another, and fencing with the cutlery, and otherwise generally being
Amazing.
weird.
Drama teens. Yep.
Good.
Yep. No, the drama teens are on the opposite extreme end, farthest away from all the other patrons. There's a group of three gaunt, almost spectral looking figures, but with like sunken, haggard black eyes and like almost like wet, drowned looking faces.
Oh
with
no,
hair
those aren't
plastered
drama
on faces.
teens. Those are grad students.
Yeah, but they're all sighing together and kind of glancing at the goblins with annoyance,
Good.
and exchanging clove cigarettes.
Nice.
Oh man, great how this place always shows up whenever we're hungry, right?
Yeah, what a coincidence.
Huh.
Perny would like to do just like some napkin math on like if we
How much do we owe the
Perny-
Fae?
well no but more if we Perny net Tromlin to think about wanting waffles, can this take us to him?
Ooh.
Make me an Arcana check.
He'll just get on at the next stop.
Also,
Yeah.
meanwhile, I forgot the reason I was describing everything. as you're sort of like, hey, can I just slip a thing there, Morgan? I said ogre, but you know what? He's a
Silly.
troll because trolls are actually Fae kin. The big rubbery green troll chef will actually kind of like give you a little nod and just like slip you a plate full of food that he was preparing. Fetid, you notice that as well.
Uh-huh.
I mean, isn't that normal? Oh.
I mean, would I know that this is at all unusual? I'm not sure I would. I'd just be like, oh yeah, they know each other.
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing. It's just that
Yeah.
Morgan seems to definitely know all these people.
Hmm.
I mean,
In
don't I
fact,
just
you know
get
what? You
preferential
rolled a
treatment
26.
everywhere I go?
You rolled a 26, so you actually also notice the tone of the gibbering nonsense that all the little goblin things
Ooh.
are nattering at each other. The tone kind of changed when Morgan came in. And you
Okay.
notice a couple of surreptitious glances at Morgan from the drowned, haggard teens and the princely folk, or prince and princess in the other corner.
Wow, I think they all
You
must
definitely
follow her
notice
streams.
everyone here seems to know Morgan
Okay.
because you rolled a 26.
It's the local / everywhere bar. Of course they know me.
Of course.
Must be a regular.
Yeah.
And then, how's your
Morgan
Arcana check
is
there?
devouring the food with her hands. And just like, it's so messy, and whatever it is on her face, on her chest, on her hands.
Amazing.
Because she's just starving. She doesn't go without, okay? She always has an excess of things in her bag. She always like knows where to go to get things. So this has been rough. This has been rough for her. So she's just like,
But also,
yeah.
prestidigitation. Like you're not gonna
Oh yeah.
suffer.
Once she's done eating, once she's done devouring the thing, she like prestidigitations it away. And
it's literally a pair of waffles with other breakfast food, and you just make a sandwich. Like you just take 2 round waffles and like stick all the bacon and eggs in between them, and just like
And even like her prestidigitation isn't just like disappearing the mess to be deposited for fetid later. It is gathering up the food slop into another bite of food to put in her face.
Good.
And how was that Arcana check?
So I rolled a 5 for a 15, decided I didn't like that, and I burned an inspiration and rolled again and got a 5 for a 15 and decided, no, I want this, and then rolled again and burned another inspiration and got a 4 for a 14. So
Nice.
I got a 15 and I have no inspiration.
I'm gonna write
You can't spend the second. You can't
No,
spend
you
the
can only spend
second
one.
inspiration
Okay.
on the same roll. So you at least didn't waste 2 inspirations.
All right, well, that's good.
Only one.
But with a 15, at the very least, I'm trying to remember specifically how you worded your question. You were saying,
Is there a way? I'm trying to do some like Arcana math for like. Is there a way that if I can contact
Right.
Tromlin through the Perninet to think about wanting waffles,
Well-
then this could teleport us to him?
I'll give you broadly that this isn't probably an anyone who wishes for this anywhere like otherwise physically, like how many
Oh.
of these waffle houses would there have to be for
This
them
is
to show up
specifically
anywhere in the
Franchise.
world?
for
It's not that
VIPs.
franchised.
It just
But-
doesn't need to obey causality, that's all.
But you definitely recall some of the weird, like 2 things will occur to you with that 15. One is you know for a fact from prior experience that there is some significant Fey magic around Morgan, much like there is with Tromlin.
Yeah.
And now you've never really questioned that because, like with Tromlin, you know sort of why. Like they're both Fey touched, like they're both satyrs, but that's not like there's Fey touched and then there's Fey touched, right?
Yeah.
In Tromlin's case, a lot of that has to do with the contract of that his mother signed, and other things that have happened between him and the Fey, including the making of offspring.
Yep.
That there's some reasons that you would presume that Fae magic is more strongly associating with Tromlin. You're not sure what all those reasons might be. Like, it occurs to you that maybe there's a contract of some sort involved with Morgan. You don't know. But you do know from prior experience that Morgan has some connections to Fae magic. But you also know that Morgan is a wild magic sorcerer, and you recognize some of the randomness of a wild magic effect with that 15. And in
Oh.
fact, I will say that is what the roll was. The wild
nice.
magic roll that I had was I gave you 2 rolls, and it was if either of them was under 33%, I was going to give you the
Some fairy weirdness.
specifically the wish for
Greasy
The
spoon.
most
a greasy
important
spoon. I was
wild
like,
magic
well, hey,
roll to
there's
date.
an actual
Yep.
wishing for greasy spoon. And one of your rolls was like a 29, so you succeeded.
Okay.
Beyond that, though, with a 15, that's about as much as you're going to get.
Okay.
And before I jump back to you guys role playing, because that's what's obviously next, I'm going to
Yeah.
go ahead and do a poll.
Oh no.
I think it is time for the
Oh,
audience
no.
to get to do a poll. So I will ask my players to step away because I have a very important question to ask
Good
the
God.
audience.
Terrified. I am
Why would you be
currently
terrified?
snacking on a piece of poppy seed lemon loaf,
Ooh.
some fresh raspberries, pistachios, and Baby Bell.
Oh,
Oh,
And I
yeah.
also have an energy drink on lock that I haven't
Okay.
even opened yet. I'm having a fantastic time.
Good.
Excellent.
Also, I posted a
Love it.
picture in the Discord along with my work in progress of Morgan and Perny using some sage.
Nice.
And to the audience, just before I forget, the poll is live. As always, you have 10 minutes to vote in the poll. You can vote as many times as you like using channel points, and you get one for free. There are good and bad and very interesting options here. So do try to make things interesting.
Also, just before I left the
in
channel,
the
I saw
way
that
that you would
Paul
like.
resubscribed. So thank you, Paul.
Thank
That was a
you.
long
Thank you, Paul,
time.
for username
here
for
the whole
your
time.
subscribing. It was a Prime subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, a very, very front runner favorite here.
Oh God.
But remember,
I
with
never know
channel
whether
points,
that's good or bad.
with
I
channel
know.
points, it can go any way. I'm also going to post a thing in the chat just to clarify.
You know
speak
who
amongst yourselves,
Morgan
players.
would absolutely love? Sabrina Carpenter. We're going to be such a big fan of Sabrina Carpenter. Like, vibes.
Yeah.
Absolute vibes.
I am not an old man Googling who Sabrina Carpenter is.
You
Oh no.
100% are. You 100% are.
I know who it
please-
is, but have never heard any of her music.
The
How do I
music
know who this
that
is?
is great. Please.
Because you have students.
yeah, you should know for your students at least. Feather is great too. Feather's actually a really good breakup song. Great. I think it was Feather.
Well, I learned something today.
Yeah. So yeah, we slide down into the booth,
Okay.
and Ugdo picks up a menu and is like flipping through it, and orders what's I gonna call it? The Dragon's Horde chicken and waffles, which is like waffles and then chicken and then waffles and chicken and then waffles and chicken, and then with just way too much maple syrup all over it.
And
I'll
a whole
have
bunch
one
of
of those
dollar
two,
fries.
please.
Yes.
Surrounded by dollar fries like coins.
Yep, like a horde.
Mhm. I'll
And
take
she
one.
dumps an entire container of maple syrup over everything.
Morgan's just like, post I've had my first bit of food slightly comatose and is just like sitting cross-legged in like the corner part of the bench booth with her like arms over the back, just like waiting to order what she'll have next, but can't even think. She's just like, I need to
Only food.
digest. I just need to digest before I can even think about more food.
I think
Oh, man,
Perny
I had a
doesn't eat,
second
but
one.
he'll
No, go ahead.
order
Carry
the baba yogurt with fresh berries just so that he has something in front of him that
Nice.
stand out.
And a coffee. Just stir
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah. A coffee that he is going to nurse, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit inappropriate at the table, but I guess so.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, you all get some food. During this meal, I would like to get perception checks from everyone but Morgan.
Sure, nothing terrible is happening with us eating all of this fake food.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing could be going
13.
wrong.
13 here.
Great.
Hey, I
While
got
you
an
guys make
okay
rolls, I'll just eat these raspberries.
15.
We're doing great. This is a good time for us all to fail.
Yep. I'm gonna say I'm gonna make a
Just
roll to
randomize that.
influence the set point.
Yeah.
Okay. No, pretty good. No. So nobody notices anything particularly untoward.
He goes
Why would we need
between
to?
the
We're
green
fine.
screen and the picture. He's just in the backdrop.
He has climbed inside your
He's
your
in the
backdrop.
backdrop.
It is a Fae portal, so.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mhm.
goodness.
You wonder why it's suddenly rippling
Okay.
right here. That's just there's a bird like right here.
I'm sure everything's fine, you guys.
I'm sure
Feel
we're
free to
great.
keep those votes coming.
I mean, eat as much fairy food as you want, right? Like nothing ever bad ever happened.
Well, I mean, is anyone saying anything about it, or is your characters like it's up to
Perny is
you?
actually looking at engineering
I rolled
a
a
blood
6.
ramp that would take pancakes directly from the kitchen into Fedid's mouth. A little slide, like the Halloween of COVID, the way that you would give.
Nice.
kids
Oh,
candy.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking, like, Morgan would have just, have assumed that this is just like a magical diner, that Fae diners are common, and that everyone seemed familiar with it already. So, like, why would I have to say anything about a thing we already all
Also,
know?
We've eaten here before and it was fine.
Yeah.
This is like our 3rd visit here.
Yeah. I wonder if they have like loyalty cards.
I'm sure
You can ask.
we can definitely sign for one.
One of the waitresses is a hag. And she's like, got the usual hunchback, but she's wearing like a diner uniform with like an oversized apron, and she's like carrying a coffee pot around everywhere that's like got a quarter in the bottom, and it's thick and sludgy. And she's the one who's like, meh, meh, more coffee, hun. And the other waitress is like a short, plump, winged creature, the size of somewhere between a dwarf and a halfling. And she has like a kindly southern middle-aged lady's face.
Amazing.
And she's like, she
What's her
keeps
name? Deb?
Yeah. No, their names are Deb and Pearl. Pearl is the floating one, and Deb is the hag.
Good.
I would like to riz
Debbie,
up
not Deb.
the
Debbie.
waitresses.
You would
All
like to
right,
what? Sorry?
I would like to riz up the waitresses. I, in this moment, deeply desire to be adored and cared for by them. So I'd love to roll persuasion.
How surreptitiously or otherwise?
Sorry, what does surreptitiously mean?
Like
sneaky
how
you being?
sneaky are you trying to do this? Like without like openly? You want them to like?
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
want them to
like no,
treat you
she
well, but
genuinely.
without it? But like wink, wink, or do you want them to like
No, she's just
openly?
really happy to be here and really really have to be fed. And these are the people that give her food and are like here to be caretakers. And
Mhm.
so she just wants to be as endeared to them as possible and to treat them
Gotcha.
very well.
You
Yeah.
can feel free to. You don't really have to roll, but if you want to roll a persuasion, please do.
Oh my god, I criticaled.
Oh
Nice.
god.
Okay. Everybody else needs to roll me another perception roll
Ooh.
with advantage this time.
Well, I'm
Well,
glad I
Like,
had
for
it.
geez,
both
For the
times.
audience,
Yeah.
we're into the final minute,
If you
less than a minute to go. If
if
you've
you
got
would like
any strong feelings about those results, you better speak now or hold your voting peace.
insight into how I move through life, I compliment people all the time. Um, and I don't do so falsely. I just say things that I do like about them, that things about them that excite me, that I think are very admirable. So that's what she's doing.
Aw.
She's like, look at these working women, look at them taking care of this place and being here for people or not people that need some food and some
Oh,
shelter.
nice.
And so she's just like chatting with them, asking their names, um, asking them what their favorite dish is, what like just being like, "Hey, tell me about you. What's going on? I'm so happy to be here."
Aw. I rolled a 19.
I rolled an 18.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's
We're
good for
starting to-
you,
we're
Ogna.
starting
Oh
to
my
Really,
tune
god.
we're really
in.
trying
We
here.
really are. We're like something
Okay.
seems off. I don't know. Something was weird.
Also, I am eating fried chicken leftovers slyly on the
Nice.
side of Cam here.
Nice.
Ooh, are they
Really
warmed up or cold?
They were warmed up when we started at 7, and then I got so engrossed in the roleplay that I let it go cold.
Yeah.
But cold fried chicken is actually kind of fun.
Okay, so what were those perception rolls? I heard a 19 from Ugna
Yep. 18 from Perny.
and Fetid.
17.
Ooh.
Okay, all of those are going to hit the necessary level. So Morgan, you start kind of like really turning up the charm with these two Fae adjacent waitresses.
Oh yeah.
And they start, and so like the one in the pink gown that's like fluttering her little fairy wings pulls out a wand and waves it, which like refills your coffee, and a bunch of little tiny pixie like things come marching out of like the shadows and bring more plates of food, and very deferentially put everything in front of Morgan. And all of the rest of the party catches little subtle but not subtle enough bows from the wait staff as they put things in front of Morgan and back away. And
Any
what
bowing that
languages do
Morgan
we have here?
catches will
Yeah.
will be like, "Oh, please don't." Like, no, like we're hanging out. We're hanging
Yeah,
out.
well,
Come on, you don't have to do
that
that.
will
We're
make
hanging out.
them bow more.
I sure notice.
I am double checking everybody's
For reasons.
languages.
Just for reasons.
Yeah. Okay.
Goblin and Dwarvish over
Only
here.
Tromlin has the relevant languages.
Of course.
And he's
Of
not
course.
Of
here.
course.
Well, Morgan does also, but
Yeah.
Okay.
Perny could speak these
I want to
languages.
say, as a player,
Yep.
I'm very terrified of the potential of this Waffle House and the potential of this Waffle House in this moment, but also like to critical in the moment of like risen up the staff.
Oh, hell
That
yes.
is a relief.
Hell
To
yes.
critical of that is such a relief as a player. Like in character, she's like, "Yeah, let's do this," but
Yeah.
I would like a history roll from Copernicus.
Long lever.
This is a very high
Here we go.
threshold, but you've got a ridiculous history. You got a +10.
Would a 22 get me there? I'll spend an inspo if I gotta.
I make me a second roll with a DC of 15
Interesting.
to see if I'm going to give you your bonus to
Interesting.
yourself. So your historian feat gives you a DC 15 roll to add 3.
So I got a 28 on that one.
Well, that turns your other roll into a 25.
It's funny. It's like, how would studying history help me get better at studying history? I know. And then I remember an historian that came up with an idea for how to remember history better, and then I used that to remember history better.
Amazing.
So the patrons and the staff are largely speaking Sylvan because they are Fae amongst themselves. The only one of you who speaks Sylvan and knows what they're saying is Morgan. So Morgan, when they kind of whisper under their breath to you, you know what they're saying. Copernicus, with that history roll, you remember enough words of Sylvan that you've read here and there in your many studies over a very long time, to catch specific words that you recognize as being deferential. Like, not actually this word, but like, imagine if someone was saying your grace to a person of certain religious standing.
Hey, your grace to anyone in a Waffle House just feels weird.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted. I'm gonna do that one day. I'm gonna make it come off
No,
as
actually, it wouldn't be weird if it was
Your
drag
grace
queens. If it was drag queens, that would
staff.
make perfect sense.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while this conversation is going, while this is happening, the two almost lordly looking individuals in the corner stand up and make their way out of the Waffle House. When they stand up, you realize that they are both significantly over 7 feet tall, but like proportioned, not like an overly tall human. They're proportioned like a normal sized human,
They're just tall.
but
Morgan's
impossibly
gonna-
tall and good looking and elfin.
Morgan
and
is-
obviously Fae, and they both, as they go to leave, Morgan, make eye contact with you and give you like
The head incline.
a knowing nod.
Yeah.
She's gonna try and catch up to them. She'll be like, "Oh, hold on a second," and we'll try and catch up to them as they're going out the door.
Okay.
Like, hey,
This is all pretense gone now.
I'm not sure if you're going out where we got in, but these are the creatures that I've seen in that area, and we'll talk to them about like the slimes and a couple of the other creatures, because she doesn't know. Yeah,
They'll hold up a hand to cut you off, or one of them will. The male-looking one. I mean, they're both pretty gender fluid. The one dressed more like a mask individual holds up a hand to sort of gently pause and says in Sylvan, fear not, Your Highness. We will step into another place.
Okay. Oh, nice running into you, by the way. How have you been?
And he does a bit of a taking leave nod, and the lady figure does a bit of a curtsy as one would do an equal, not so much deferential, as courtiers would to other courtiers as they step off into the mists and disappear.
Ugna makes direct eye contact with Perny and just like slowly raises an eyebrow.
Do I know who these people were? Because she's been very distracted.
You could make me would this be Arcana, or would this just be something else. I'll say, yeah, just make me an Arcana check for sort of how much detail. You definitely
Yeah.
will get some information, but if you
That's
roll
not great.
really well, you might know like specific names or something.
That's just a 14.
Yeah, you're not sure. You know that they are both Sealy courtiers,
Mm-hmm.
of some standing, not particularly high standing, but
She'll take a
well,
couple
I
of little
mean, they
notes of
wouldn't be in
their
here if they had high standing. I mean, come on.
yeah. She'll take a couple little notes of their descriptors if she can't remember
Yeah.
their names.
They both had like their shoes like over, like they just came from like a nightclub
Mm-hmm.
in the Feywilds, and
Makes
it's like,
sense.
so late, this
Yeah.
is all that's open, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I should remember that I've run into them if I have to.
Yep.
Socialize with other people later, so she'll take a note of it.
Yep.
In return to the raised eyebrow from Ugna, I think Perny's going to say, I pried into Morgan's affairs once, and I've learned my lesson. So I'm going to politely ask her about this in a moment, and then I will drop it if she does not want to talk about it. But I find this all very interesting as well. Inside his own head, Perny is like physically tackling and restraining the like interested hot goss old man, who just like wants to like ask questions in every corner here, like
Ugna
pinning him
just-
down and like.
Ugna just shrugs and she's like, it's probably just the, I shouldn't say that. Don't worry about it.
I'm already holding down one hot goss old man. The two wolves that live inside me are both hot goss old men, and I'm already holding one down. You just woke the other one up.
Yes. Just kicked him. Take it up.
What
Nice.
what did you mean by that? Just curious.
And she just like puts a fork into the biggest of the fried chicken and just shoves it in her mouth. Maybe it's told in private, and maybe I should know. I don't know anything.
Perny begins the slow process of casting comprehend languages so we can understand Ugna talking with her mouth full.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will leave it there. But when Morgan comes back to the table, Perny will probably do a quick aside with her.
Yeah, so Morgan will stop and chat with the waitresses a little more as she comes back. And we'll even like take, because she really wants them to feel comfortable around her, so she'll kind of like wrestle the coffee pot away and do the refills herself. Because she just wants to like really belong, if she has to be pushy to do that, she will. So she'll come and refill our coffees, and then she'll.
Yeah, put
She has like
have the starlet come in and do all the manual labor.
Hey, just the stuff that's easy, just the manual labor that's nothing.
It's just for a photo op.
Basically, yeah.
Optics.
Yeah, the moment they got the photo, she just drops the coffee pot and walks away.
Well, with Perny, she's using a little bit of sleight of hand when she goes to refill his coffee, to make the sludge just like sit at the edge of the pot before it like actually plops in
Nice.
to look like she's pouring him more.
Nice.
And with her own, she's got like a hot tea and a hot coffee, and she's like basically just she's watering down the sludge so it is more drinkable. It's basically like cold brew paste at this moment.
So I imagine though that like since they're like, you've made this nat 20 roll, so they're waiting on you hand and foot. I imagine that like there's just like constantly food being brought, and Fetid is just like
No
slowly ballooning under the table.
Yep. They're gonna have to roll me out of here,
Excellent.
possibly into a grave.
I already built a ramp and dug a grave, so.
It's like waffles and pancakes with bacon in between them, and then like sausage gravy just everywhere.
I don't know.
I'm so hungry in real life.
I don't know where the bacon is from, like what creature's from, but it is fucking incredible. So she just has like a whole plate of bacon that she's like
It's
slowly
fairy
eating.
bacon, which sounds terrifying.
It is
Fairy
incredibly
bacon.
terrifying, but imagine just not ever thinking about it though, and just
Oh.
enjoying it.
It's
Mhm.
totally fine.
Good
Mhm.
imagining. I think at some point though, Perny will sort of look out, catch Morgan's eye, and just like raise an eyebrow and say, friends of yours?"
Well, extended family when you really think about it.
They seem to really respect and admire you.
What's there not to respect and admire?
Oh,
At this
there's
Mm.
ready to respect and admire. I have not seen just such deference paid in a diner in a very long time.
in
Honey, I
full
know.
view of the rolls at this point, there's like a little chain of like floating fairy, like tiny pixie fairies, just like singing and dancing around you. They're like singing your name. Like it's
Oh,
just
Morgan's full girl boss gaslight gatekeep, and knows that Perny cannot punch for punch with her socially,
Yeah.
so is just gonna roll him. Like, yeah, I mean, have you met me? I
Oh,
know
look.
you're very, very old, wink. She actually says wink as she winks. I know
I know
you're
you're
very,
very
very
old.
old, and you
Wink.
have a fabulous, fabulous wife, and have lived a long, wonderful life with many, many people that are pretty incredible in it. And she's fully gestures to Ugna as she says so. Um, and maybe you're used to it, Perny. Maybe you're used to how incredible the people are around you, and other people aren't.
Well, how lucky for me that I have an opportunity to appreciate it here and now.
Absolutely.
And he sits back and just takes in the chorus of dancing fairies and um, they
HOTTOGO, and the whole diner gets up and chaperones HOTTOGO with
Right.
her.
Amazing.
The goblins do, but the drowned goth teens all kind of like shuffle awkwardly past your table, like they're trying not to visibly be seen, and they all kind of mutter, Princess Nefel, as they squeeze by you and like shuffle quickly their way out of the Waffle House.
Morgan will sleight of hand spill a drink to cover that up.
Let's see how well that goes.
Yeah.
Roll me a performance distraction.
Mm.
And those who care what the I don't know that Fetid will necessarily give a shit, but
Nah,
the
not
others,
really.
the others can probably roll perception checks to
I mean,
see if
I already
you can
know.
clear this up.
But
I'm in with a chance here. I've heard the name Nefel
Yeah.
in the Children Tribe camp.
That's only a 14.
That's a 17 over here.
I only have an
Mhm.
11,
Yeah.
but I already know, so
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Yeah, Morgan just like is like fake clumsy going, oh, sorry, and just like spills a drink a little bit and is like making a bit of a noise to wipe it up as other people are trying to wipe it up before her.
Perny has decided that he's not going to ever pry with your affairs, but he's allowed to notice, and so that's all he did. He noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of noticing things,
Yeah.
Copernicus, the as more food is being brought out to the table, you start to realize with your devil's eyes that some of this food and drink is starting to have magical glamour to it.
Like the food that's coming out is now a magic risk.
Yeah.
I think Perny will send through the Perny net. They have begun to serve enchanted food. I won't tell you your business, but I would eat at your own risk. And I'll name the last plate that came out that's safe because I know that they're gonna still like when it's at the table you gotta keep eating something.
Right.
And then I'll-
Morgan's going to just continue to be bossy, and before Fetid can reach that plate, is going to like kind of like in not an intimidating way, but like slap her hand down on the table and be like, I feel like we're overdoing this, you guys. I don't wear pants, and I feel like I'm stretching my belt. And Fetid, I love you, but I don't want you to have an upset tummy later, okay?
It's never happened, but there's a first time for everything.
As soon
Hey,
as the Pertinet
we
message
can.
lands,
Mm.
Ugna has like half a waffle in her mouth, and she just lets it slide back out and like flop onto the plate, and then pushes the plate away.
Gross.
That was
Ugh.
presumably not yet one of the magical ones,
Presumably.
because
So,
Yeah.
this was
but
caught
she doesn't know that.
quickly by Copernicus.
But she
No,
just like
but-
goes like pale green.
You're all right. You're all right. That one was fine.
You sure?
Um,
You sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Ugna just like at this moment seems to look around and realize that there's an awful lot of fairies in here, and it sure looks awfully fey outside.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Um, At this
Morgan?
point, one of the waitresses, the hag, suddenly shows up by your table with like a little broom, like just a short-handled broom that's like not taller than she is, and just like whisks at all of the fairy creatures that are like singing and floating around Morgan, and says, "Shoo, shoo, shoo! None of that! None of that! Sorry." And then thumps down another big stack of waffles on a plate, which Copernicus, you note, do not appear to be glamored.
Okay. I'm gonna give him another like once over just to be sure,
Neil
and then
stick
I'll
eye.
like and then I'll like give Ugna a big nod and like point to that one and like thumbs up.
Morgan will send to Perny a little message. It's like, I think maybe someone just got excited, but also I think we might just be reaching the limits of their kitchen, and they're trying to give us some filler because we have been going hog.
Well, maybe it's time we got back on the road. I don't know if they can
Yeah.
let us off closer to the surface or not, or if we have to go back to where we came from. But I would not want to overstay our welcome.
Yeah, weirdly, Ugna seems to have lost her appetite. She does not go for the pile of waffles, even though it's safe, and she doesn't finish the rest of her like ludicrously sugar-soaked platter.
Zaxis will say, "Which ones is not good?"
Actually, Perny didn't say anything out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't you?
Yeah.
No,
No,
Perny
okay, well
only
then-
did Perny net.
Then you notice Zaxis going for like having finished whatever was on his plate currently,
Yeah.
reaching for one of the platters of glamoury stuff.
I think I'll just like put a little hand on his hand and just say, I had a look in the kitchen and almost everything they serve is great. I would skip this dish. Another dish will come along. That'll be good. Just don't hold on a sec. And I might even. I think it'd be too. I was gonna say like, oh, he's got like a like call over the waitress and be like, oh, he's got a magic allergy. Can we get something that doesn't have? But I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'll just wait until we've got the stacked pancakes, and then when you don't want it, I'll shove it down to him.
Yeah, I mean, you'll notice like there's another couple moments where like surreptitiously one of the flying fairy things kind of like
Emphasis on the
glances
syrup. Heyo.
glances over at the waitresses and then like kind of surreptitiously like points at one of the coffee cups and it refills itself magically. But then another one of the waitresses comes over and like the hag comes over and smacks the fairy out of the air, so it goes like and like grabs that cup of coffee and puts a different one down and walks away. Yeah, there's a few other little moments like that where like one of them sneaks over to one of the plates and like pulls a sausage as big as it is out from behind its back and tries to switch it with one of the other sausages.
Yeah.
And then like again, then like a fly swatter comes out of nowhere, and you like look over and it's like 6 feet long, and the troll from the cook station is like smacked it and is like, "Grr."
Morgan's gonna pick the one of the very trickstery ones, and it's just gonna take its little hand and I guess her just like finger and thumb and just go, sweetie, no, sweetie, let's find something more fun to do, okay?
Make a roll for that.
You want me to make a roll? Or...
Yes, please. I would like you to give me a percentile roll.
Ooh.
All right. 2 percentiles?
Nope, just one.
No? All right. That is a 85.
This is just me deciding. Let's see. I'll make you reroll if it's not going to make
I
sense.
imagine carbonated drinks were originated by the Fae
Probably.
Yeah.
in our universe. Like, they were like, let's add bubbles to this.
Yeah. What if it was sparkly, but like on your tongue?
In taste. Yeah. I'm having a monster fruit punch right now.
Nice. I'm having
Excellent.
spirulina and mango.
Ooh,
It's blue.
spirulina.
It's good.
I love
It's the same color as
spirulina.
my hair.
That's your
Mm.
name in it.
It is.
What?
Maybe that's why I'm this way. Too much spirulina.
Yeah.
That's very annoying. Hang on, I
Yeah,
gotta
you,
Oh,
you
no.
pick your class when you start playing as you. There's
Yeah.
Spirulina, Swordalina, and Axelina.
Oh, I might be Axelina.
Nice.
Oh my god. Our
Where's my tiny
our
axe?
little Axolotl Axelina.
Oh,
Ashalok.
yeah.
Yeah.
Properly pronounced Ashalok.
Really?
Yeah. Now what
I don't like
has,
that. I'm gonna keep pronouncing it wrong. I think mine was better.
But it's indigenous language.
I mean, yeah, it's an indigenous.
Don't do
word
that
with
to
notes.
me. I'm busy being stubborn.
The X in Noahat is pronounced like an SH.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so like when you say that, the little pixie thing gives you kind of like a real kind of devilish look.
Mhm.
And the reflections of your party in the window, because it's dark outside and light inside, all turn and face the party and start like and otherwise like there's no noise, can't
Yeah.
hear them, but they are gesticating wildly.
Mhm.
They
Morgan's just gonna
fight. They start a
try
food fight with all the
to
stuff on the
pretend
table.
that she didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, all of you can see it. Like,
Yeah.
there's reflections of you that are like animated characters now having a food fight in the reflection on the inside of the window.
Ugna frowns really hard at the reflection of Ugna, and then like pokes the glass where she is.
Like ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Nope.
Hmm.
Nothing happening. And all of the little fairy things start getting a little more raucous and like making some noise.
Morgan's a little disappointed because she was hoping that they could sleep here before they leave.
Oh.
And I think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
The
I think that would
goblin
be a
table
problem.
is now like all over the place. Like all over, they're no longer confined to their table. They are now like running around with these fey creatures and generally
Frolicking.
Morgan is packing up her food and a little brown paper bagging it, put in her bag of holding. Her bag of holding has like a long rope that has a bunch of carabiners on it. That's one of the ways that she organizes it, because it's also very gay. So she's got like a specific like leftovers carabiner that she puts it on, and like is literally doing like stretching and just getting ready to go. Like she's like, all right, I think we should head out now. I want to see the outside world. I want to see daylight. I want to be in the sun. I want some fresh fucking air.
Yeah.
I'll help.
I
I'll help
agree.
roll Fetid back into a sausage shape so that his feet can touch the ground
Nice.
again.
I would like another perception check from all of the party.
Hmm.
Fetid might have disadvantage from being round.
Rotund.
Would a nat 20 counteract that?
Ooh.
Jeez.
Nice.
Will.
Nat
Alright.
20 over here.
Not that
Nice.
it
Just
not
a
that it
13
matters,
here.
I guess. But my perception is 16.
You all notice Zaxis going to just like shovel all of the like a bunch of leftovers, everything that's near him into like a bag,
Right.
like just like
Mm.
oh, for the road. Like, and he's not
Yeah.
super trying to hide it. Like he
Yeah.
was kind of
Yeah.
doing it a bit when people
Yeah.
are distracted,
Yeah.
but mainly he's just like not the waste.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy,
good
I
life.
wouldn't. I wouldn't eat that stuff.
I'll like I'll like yeah there's the custom here is to only take a certain portion, and I'll tell you which portion, and then I'll like divide up his food sack grab into the what's safe and what is not.
Well, what we appear seems to be unenchanted
Yeah.
or glamored.
Yep.
Leave all the glamour,
Yeah,
and
you
then a
can-
really good tip. Like I know fairies like silver and gold, so we'll leave a please don't curse us tip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Perny. I think
Yeah.
Perny's like wealth and privilege is enough to cover this bill and a big old tip.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't spent money in a
and, like-
while. I've been sleeping on a cavern floor just to save money.
And with your previous roles, like you're starting to become convinced like that they're not gonna try and mess with the companions of Morgan in here. Um, the the troll. So you've noticed for the last while now that all of these little fairy creatures that came out of the woodwork and celebrating Morgan and are now kind of frolicking and partying all over the place with the goblin group that were the little goblinoid creatures that were here before. The one sort of frilly waitress has disappeared. You're not sure where she went. And there's only the only staff evident now are the troll cook and the hag, both of whom are walking through the place, kind of doing their job and ignoring all of the chaos. Like the troll's literally like kicking goblins and fairies out of his way, like he was walking through snow as he moves around the the Waffle House. And the hag just sort of like smacks anything in her way out of the way with the broom as she walks around. So when you guys go to pay when you go to pay the bill, you leave the money on the table, and you get up to leave.
Could we
Sorry?
actually what is our goal destination for our party in this
We
moment?
were headed towards Morwin.
Wherever
weren't we?
Zaxis is taking you. Nope. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
you have said nothing of the kind.
Yeah. So wherever Zaxis is taking us.
Someone last game said that you needed to get, like I think you were saying something about the coast or something.
Yeah.
And Zaxis said he could take you to the water.
Right.
Yeah. Morgan
that
wants
is
to
as
test out this
specific as it has
magic,
been.
the magic of this space.
Mhm.
So as we're like getting ready to leave, she's gonna turn to Perny and say, "Where exactly do we need to go and be in this moment?"
If we could get to Morwindle, that would help us get closer to House Marin and help us follow up the thread of who is involved in this. If this is the thread we want to continue tugging.
And can you describe for me you've been to Morwindle before?
Oh, of course I have. And Perny will launch into like an old man's rambling about
Yeah.
the pastry shop and then the old
Oh,
bookstore.
there used to be a bookstore down in the corner, and I would go there every Sunday. And
Morgan wants to test out
magazine.
Morgan wants to test out whether or not we have any control over where we exit.
Right.
If we're exiting the same spot, or if we can convince or communicate to the space, because she's not certain it's the people that work here or if it's the actual building. But she's going to eke out as much detail about like her Perny's favorite spot in Morrowind, and like kind of do a little minor illusion map of the spot. And she's like, "Yeah, I think we should really go check that place out." And basically be trying to like find some way to magically direct us there.
Are you willing to do some wild magic here?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a wild magic roll. Percentile roll.
D20 or 2d10?
The usual percentage. Yeah.
Okay. That's a 16 for the first one. You want me to roll a second or no?
Yes, you can.
That's an 89 for the second.
So Pico is sleeping on my head, but Meg is sleeping right beside the tablet that's running the other camera. And she's cuddled right up to Peter's face. And
Oh,
will occasionally try and preen you. It's really cute. It's so cute. It's rainy right now, so the birds are in like full cuddle mode.
Oh,
Cute.
it's the best.
Look at Pico up there preening his feet. Okay. So, so two things happen. First of all, a series of moth-like or butterfly-adjacent insects like burst from all of your clothes and go in all directions, leaving a glamour-filled web all around the place, webbing up most of these random fairy creatures and goblins that are frolicking everywhere.
Oh.
I'd like dex saves from the party. You don't need to roll one, Morgan.
All right. I imagine how
Uh,
suffocating that would feel to have a bunch of fluttering animals around you.
That is a dirty 20.
Damn.
Okay,
Oof.
you're good.
Dirty 13.
Nice.
That is not good.
Also a natural 13.
It's natural.
And fetid?
Let's see. 15 plus. What's my modifier for this?
For dex save, you have a plus lots.
5. Yeah, so
Plus
that's a
8.
dirty 20 for
No.
me as well then.
It's a plus 8 for your dex
Oh,
save.
plus 8 now. All right, that's
Because it's
23 then.
Woo!
Yeah,
God damn.
it's a saving throw, not your dex bonus.
Oh, saving throw. Okay.
Yeah. So you have proficiency in dex dex saves because you are a
What happens
ranger.
though? Because I might swap luck with somebody.
Well, no. This is literally to determine are you entangled
Right.
in the web.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is a web spell, like
Yeah.
the ones that Fetid
So
has
a web
cast.
spell happens,
So-
and Ugna will use intercept to put herself in front of Perny and keep him from being webbed up.
Okay. So you're going to well, technically intercept is for damage.
It's for
is it
damage.
not?
Yeah.
You reduce damage.
Yeah.
But I will let you take the entangle if you want.
Can do.
So Ugna is caught in the web, but nobody else is. So Ugna throws herself in front of the rest of the party. Fetid like rolls himself rapidly off to one side.
Even full of waffles, you're still nimble.
You roll yourself out the door and like go like boing 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 down the steps and to where Ollie is waiting outside.
Old bouncy ball.
And you notice when you do so, there is a great big bowl of
Aw.
random scraps from the kitchen that Ollie is feasting upon. What's still in the bowl is kind of slightly on fire as he's been chomping his way through it.
Morgan fully is like not freaked out by this, actually. She's considering the fact that this might be in preparation for a huge jump.
Yeah,
and
well,
that the web is to keep people safe. So she's
the
like,
second thing that
she's
happens-
not intercepting.
The second thing that happens is that your eyes are now glowing like lanterns of different colors. It says multicolored lanterns, so I assume they switch back and forth into various colors.
Mm.
And that will continue for the next 24 hours.
You got those LED
Okay.
eyes.
I do.
Really popular at raves.
Yeah.
And in the process, the entire Waffle House shudders. and like rocks like a bad fairground ride. One of
That's
those
so
ones where you
fun.
get in and it's like, whoa, 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 and you're like, that's it? Okay. Right.
Nice.
Oh no, we're going, and there's a screen and it's like, we're going through an asteroid field. Shake, shake, shake lightly, that kind of thing. But then the entire building stands up on its legs. So Fetid outside, you and Ollie sitting by the door, suddenly the doorstep is like 20 feet above your head. And the building shakes itself like a chicken that's been sitting for a while and gets up. It kind of shakes itself and tips and shakes you guys out.
Cool.
Along with like a spray of little fairies come raining out, but then like
As we're all
disappear
like
into the mist.
cocooned and webbed up.
Yeah, like yeah, and you fall out in the cocoon, so the web
Yeah.
spell like goes with
Like upside
this.
down.
Yeah, everybody except for the hag and the troll. So
Yeah.
including all of these random goblin things and Zaxxas
Oh,
and all the rest of you
Mhm.
are shaken out onto the ground, and the entire
Can I-
structure then kind of turns on its heel, and strides off into the mist.
I only
And
rolled
vanishes in a hurry.
14 to break free of the webbing, which is really low for me.
You can't.
Yeah.
You're like, damn it.
Ugna struggles, and then she just this like really put upon look on her face, and just kind of dangles there.
Morgan is floating like a little leaf falling through the wind, just giggling so hard to herself as everyone goes to the ground.
As everyone gets shaken out because
Yeah.
I forgot, because of your ring and everything, you like fall out gracefully and like circle to the ground and like land with like 1 foot down. Bing.
Well, Ugna's like hanging upside down, covered in.
Yep.
in
Yeah, you
fairies
get like
and other
caught up in
stuff.
some rocks on the rock
Yeah.
wall and
Yeah.
you're just like hanging.
She's gonna help everyone get undone. Oh my goodness.
The various goblins all scamper off in different directions.
Yeah, she'll try and use prestidigitation on the web. I don't know if that would even work. You know what? I will prestidigitation a mess so that people can.
Oh no!
Because you can.
No, as soon as you come over to try and help Ugna, she just like hulks out and breaks herself free of the webs. I rolled a nat 20 to break out this time. God. And so it's you're not sure if she just got angry at being in the webs or if it was your proximity or what, but she just blah, falls on her head.
You fall head first out of the hanging cocoon.
Yeah. Fall on the ground, roll around a little bit.
Yep.
Get up, dust myself off.
Morgan mean girls her way away from that situation where she's like, oh, okay, you're good, and goes to help Perny, and she's gonna use the opposite of prestidigitation because you can messy things with it, and will create some greasy, oily substance that she's for sure cleaned up from Fetid touching her things, and magic that in the space between the web and Perny so that he can wiggle out.
Ugna,
and then I do the like a bar of soap Fetid pop out.
Ugna dusts herself off and goes, I don't know about you all, but I've had about enough of Fae today.
Well, if you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. And is just going to be helping Perny out.
I think Perny will make sure that everyone's present and accounted for, including Zaxxas.
Yeah, Zaxxas will like pull himself out from under a pile of random crap that fell out of the Waffle House and go, he's very whimsical, yes. We go now?
Yeah, let's. And I'll come over and like swing up the trunk back on my back and find the half unconscious kobold, tuck him back in the box.
Now, question. My portable teleportation circle, do I need to recharge it if we were going to use it to fast travel to a place closer to Morwindle? Like, how do I recharge it, or can I just use it?
It's not a chart. Like, you can use it whenever you want to use it, but you need to know the other the
The other
destination
end.
circle.
Yeah.
Right. You need it right now. You know of a total of 2 circles.
Right.
You know the one in the Wizard's Vale. So you know the ones that you went through before with the that you went from the Ibetian Empire to Dwemer, but at that time you didn't have access to this spell, so you probably didn't. You might not be able to recall exactly the formula, and you don't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
No.
But you at the Wizard's Vale, you absolutely had the opportunity to directly. Well, in fact, you were given the Wizard's Vale details so that you could get there
Yeah, I get there. Yeah.
quickly. And then from the Wizard's Vale, you went through the teleportation circle to the one in the library in Rockspire. So you probably would have had the presence of mind to note, having used the circle at that point, exactly what was necessary.
And am
But
I
that
able
means
to use...
you now only have those 2.
Okay.
But we've unlocked
theoretically,
Rockspire, which is nice.
yes. So like, don't be mad. We've been walking through the dark for 3 days. What if I teleported us? Instead, would we want to do this? I guess we'll do this in character. I just want to make sure. I just, it occurred to me that this might have been an option that we had this whole time. Now,
Well, where are we going to? Zaxxas? Where are you
let's
leading
talk
us to?
about that.
Morgan fully just
Use-
lays down on the floor.
You say you want to go to water place. Zaxxas can take.
Tell us.
Morgan
about
is in
water place
full
you're
defeat, on the floor, face down, unmoving, not making a sound, just waiting for you to figure whatever that was out.
Well,
Water
first of
place
all,
is
Alexis, wait, tell us about the water place. Describe it for us.
water place where big water on surface can come down, and they flow down through cracks. Good for washing sometime. Very east. We mostly way there now. But
I mean,
yeah,
that lake
water
we're
on
headed to is
surface.
east of here, right? We're probably just about there.
It would be good for us to go to the surface, get our bearings, and then we could
Yes.
teleport if we need to. Okay,
Yeah.
let's finish off this trek then. Up and at 'em, Morgan. There we go. And I think there's a moment where like Perny tries to do it's like a parent trying to get a sulking teenager out of bed, like physically lifting their hands to be like, "Yay!" but like getting no cooperation, I assume.
Yeah, like a.
Oh no,
cat
she will
hanging
fully
on-
cooperate.
Okay.
She will, but she was doing so in the goofiest way. So like, she's going to like levitate with your hands and just kind of like float, being floated by you.
Yay! We're gonna just do a little bit more of walking, and then we'll take the old teleportation route if it turns out we come up somewhere a little too far from where we need to be.
She's just gonna piggyback on you, actually.
Can I
And she's
I
gonna-
fly with
Yeah, she
with
wants to
Morgan?
test that out, actually.
Yeah, you can. I believe you can when you use the boots of flying. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can carry. Like if she's on your back, then the boots are just carrying your weight and hers, which is definitely within the weight range. So
Nice.
Is it straining you at all? Though she would not do it if it strained you as an old
Bernie
man.
has 8 strength, so
there is
so he's
there
having
is also a
fun.
lot of room on Ollie's back. Ollie is a large-sized mount with a kobold.
That's true.
I think Bernie
So
tells
she
you
will
that it's
do it
totally
for the
fine.
bit.
You can hear the bones popping. And
Yeah.
cracking.
She will do it for the bit and to not make you feel bad that she doesn't do it. Because once you start doing something that you think
you
the
gotta
other
go
person
with it.
cannot,
Yeah.
then if you like abandon ship too quickly, that is kind of mean. So she
Yeah.
will like do it for the bit, use her own like very light magical ability to float to not be a weight on you too much.
Perfect.
And then she'd be like, "You're so bony," and then we'll go on Ollie and like give him little scritches and back massages as she
Amazing.
like rests on him.
Ugna's still plodding along in the rear with the trunk and the kobold, and about after we've been marching for maybe an hour, Ugna gets out a bunch of hardtack and starts snacking again. You can hear her stomach rumbling. She
my
only
gosh.
had like 2
Yeah.
waffles and a piece of chicken.
Barely anything.
I know, right?
You didn't eat any
Um,
more?
Oh no, I really like hardtack. It's great. It's
Morgan's
delicious.
gonna toss Ugna the leftovers that she grabbed, which is like a comically piled high side of waffles. There's probably just like solidified in place because of the butter and syrup cooling
Well,
on
it's
it.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's colder than
Yeah.
it's quite cold in the
Mhm.
bag of holding. So it's like, yeah, it's just a solid brick of
Slightly
congealed
gelatinous
waffles.
waffles. Yeah.
Purdy
You're
will
like,
give-
I grabbed some to go if you want.
Hmm.
And she'll like hold it aloft for you.
I'll glance at Perny first.
Yeah, I'll thumbs up. I'm assuming there's no magic
No.
on it.
I'm
No.
assuming you only grabbed the non.
I would only have grabbed it.
Yeah.
But she'll look you in the eye, and then to Perny as you did,
Yeah.
just to let you know that she clocked it.
Yeah. Ugna just
And we'll
shrugs
hand
and
it to you.
she'll accept the waffle and snack on a cold waffle.
So we're past when we would normally take a break because it's got me distracted with crazy fairy stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I am
but
trapped
do we
under
want
a
to take a
bird.
break here? Why don't we take a break now, so we
Mm.
can all do bathroom breaks and stuff, and then we'll come back but do a shorter
Second
final
half?
run here. Does that sound
Sounds good.
good?
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll do a second
Second
third
half.
instead of a second half.
Sounds
Sounds
Alright.
good.
See ya,
We
Ted.
will be
Interrupt
back
your nap.
shortly.
Sounds
See
See
good.
ya.
Is the chat safe to go back to?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
cool.
We have been done the poll for a while.
We'll send this out. See y'all later.
Bye.